Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. I hope you are doing awesome today. I want to show you this next shape that I've come up with for our Christmas ornaments. I think it's super cute. It's a little bit more challenging than some of the other ones that we've done, but let's break it down. You're going to need 4 squares, and then you're going to need 8 of the diamonds. So you'll need all those. Let me go ahead and show you how I do my shapes so that you can get an idea. I know Trudy asked me to do a video on glue. I have never glued my pieces, so that would be very unfair for me to show you guys how to do that. So until I have tried it a few times and figured out what's best, I would not even try to do that for you guys. Okay, so you can see here, I've gone ahead and just pinned this square inside, and then I did a finger press. My seam allowance is huge. It's about 1/2 inch. The reason for that is this paper is staying in, and I don't want it to come out after it is made. And that large seam allowance will help hold it in. So I finger pressed it around. Now I'm going to do a few knots in this first corner. We'll go all the way around the way I just did. I hope you guys can see this really well. I like to put at least 2 stitches in each one on these. Oops. And then I've got my last corner here. Hopefully my thread does not run out. What I want to do also is come back over here to the beginning, because what that's going to do, it's going to make this taut all the way around, so it is much less likely for the paper to come out. Okay, I'm going to take my pen out. Now I have a square. Now, if for some reason one of these sides was too short, I may just try to reinforce it by going back and forth like this a few times, and then you know for a fact that paper is not coming out. So that's how I do the square. Let me show you a diamond. It's not much different. Of course, this diamond is huge because I don't want it coming out. And I do like to pin. I feel like it just really holds everything in place for me. I know some people don't feel the need to pin. I wanted to touch on another thing. Some of my fabrics are pre-washed, and some I saw at the store the other day and said, oh, I need that. And I did not pre-wash it. And usually I pre-wash it because I want to get all the chemicals out, because if I'm wearing it, or if I'm holding it all the time, or not wearing it, but if I'm holding it all the time, I just don't want those chemicals on me. But I figure these are little projects. I'll be done with them so quickly that it won't matter. I don't think there's anything in the chemicals that would cause it to change colors or anything like that. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about them shrinking because they're not going in the wash. So I don't need to pre-shrink. And I guess if I did get them wet, they might bleed, but there's paper in them. So we don't want to get them wet anyway. So you can see I'm just folding them down. Now when I get to the really, really pointy, narrow corner, I fold it down and I press it with my fingers. I wrap it to the back. Oops. And then I do a couple of stitches. You don't have to. It's whatever you're comfortable with. And I'm not being super neat on this because I know it will never be seen. Then I'm going back to the stitch again because I don't want it to come out. So that paper should be in there really good and not come out. So I'll go ahead and cut it. So now I have those shapes. Let me show you what we're going to do to put them together. There's going to be 4 different sections made up of the diamonds and the papers. So what you're going to do is each section that you do will look like this. So you'll end up with 4 sections just like that. And you'll just whip stitch them together as you normally would. So here's 4 that I've put together. Now how you're going to lay those out to begin with is you'll put them in a circle like this. You'll stitch this, stitch here, and stitch here. Now, because it's not in a 3D shape yet, you can whip stitch from the back down each of these sides. So that is fine. And whatever stitch you want to use is perfectly okay as well. I know I've seen where some people do really neat decorative stitches, almost like an embroidery stitch on these seams, and I think that's beautiful as well. You can see this one is put together just like I showed you. What we need next is a piece of ribbon, and I just want the ribbon long enough that I can make a loop to hang it up with either my ornament hanger or on a tree. However I want to display that. So there you go, I've made a little loop. That loop is going to keep that ribbon from fraying, and it's also going to help hide it and hold it tight into this ornament. Now, because we've got all these little points right here, I've got a contrasting thread, so I hope you can see this. I don't encourage you to cut these because I don't want it to unravel. So what I'm doing is pushing them back, and I'm kind of just stitching them out of my way. Do you see that? And that doesn't have to be pretty or anything. So this is where that ornament hanger is going to go, right there in the middle. And I want that knot to be inside of it, and that's going to help anchor it in place. So you see I've kind of folded it together like a sandwich, and you've got my thread on the outside. I'm just going to put a stitch or two from this diamond to the next one, kind of through that ribbon. I've got white thread, so hopefully you can see that. And we'll just keep sewing back and forth like this until we get past the ribbon. And then you can do your whip stitch or decorative stitch down this part here. See, now you've got your hanger. I hope that makes sense. So here's one that I've already put the hanger in, and I've sewn that side down. The next step is so easy. So you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all going the same direction. You're just going to start sewing them together. So that one goes there, that goes there, and then that goes there. And then you go to the next one. Can you see the shape starting? And how much fun is that? So anyway, I certainly do hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope it has made complete sense to you. I would love for you to find me on my Facebook page. If you click on the title of the show, it will be in the notes. Please like and subscribe. And if you want to share this video, you have my permission to share the video. Thank you so much for watching me, and happy sewing.